Hi guys, today is the 8th of May 2023 and we are looking at Nifty Bank right now on the 5-minute time frame. So just as an intro, I trade on Nifty and Bank Nifty alone, and I trade purely on price action, and I trade just using CPR and Cambrella pivots and the floor pivots. Now let's take a look at the price action of today, and we saw today that Bank Nifty opened right between the CPR. Now, what was yesterday's or the previous session's analysis we had done? It was that we had the particular CPR of that day here, and today's CPR was right here. So, because of this, since it was a descending CPR, what was the analysis? The open being below the top central pivot, which actually says BC here, but that's okay. It's just the calculation of CPR that shows here as BC, but that's actually the top central pivot. So any open below the top central pivot, and we will look to sell where this would be the best place to sell. H3 plus PP, that is the third level of Cambrella. H3 and the PP, which is a confluence area, and you can see L3 is here, and you can see that BC is right here, and the next resistance if price went up was the H4 pivot, and the last resistance was going to be the R1 pivot. So what happened today? The price actually opened below the top central pivot, and so our bearish bias was confirmed today, and so did Nifty. So you can see here that Nifty had the top central here at this level, and the open was below it. So because this was the open, the bearish bias was confirmed, because even Nifty had the CPR here and today's CPR was right here. So if you want, I'll just put it in a box so it's easier for you to understand. Look, I'll just show you the CPR for the previous day. This was the CPR for the previous session rather, and this was the CPR for today. So you can clearly see that it is a bearish signal, a bearish sign, because previous day's price action also closed below that day's CPR. And then today the price opened below the top central pivot. So clearly we had a bearish bias in the market today. And initially you could see how the market shot up in the first 9 to 10 candles itself in Bank Nifty. And you can see the same kind of rally that happened in the first hour in Nifty also, till it reached the supply zone here, where it took a bit of a small amount of selling, and then it corrected a bit and then went up again and hit the H5 pivot. Here you can see that at the R1 pivot, once Bank Nifty reached, I happened to find this particular price action here, which showed me that the price action was, or the price was reversing, because you can see here that this was the H4 pivot. And what is my analysis of today? It is a bearish analysis, so it's a short side analysis. So my system tells me that I should look to go short on the market today, and this was just short covering. This was the short covering that happened because of the people that went long yesterday. You can see here in Nifty as well, Nifty opened, gap up, and then you can see here that after this particular close in Nifty, this was the open, so there was a gap here, and this was the profit booking that happened in Nifty. So today was a complete short covering, and in Bank Nifty it wasn't as powerful that as it was in Nifty, but you can see that in the first 1 hour itself Bank Nifty had shot up right up to the R1 pivot, and once it reached the R1 pivot, I was waiting for a reversal sign, and you can see that it basically printed this kind of a this was a shooting star pattern here, but after the shooting star pattern I require another red candle to close below this particular red candle to give me a confirmation to go short, which did not happen. So I did not really go and trade at that point. But then after this particular green candle, it gave me this setup, which was an evening star setup, where this is a doji and this is a green candle, and followed up by the red candle here. And after that I waited for one candle to confirm that this particular 3 candlestick reversal pattern by letting this particular candlestick, which was the 10:10 AM candle, get printed. And once this candle was printed, I was satisfied that it had broken through the H4 pivot. Why did I need confirmation? Why did I need a 4th candlestick after the 3 candlestick combination here? Normally I would go short immediately after this red candle, but why did I wait for another candle? Because I knew that H4 is a green Cambrella level, color coded green, so H4 would act as a support for price if price comes from the top. That is why I wanted to wait for a confirmation. And you can see from the screen that I'm showing you right now that after the red candle I went short I had written the 43,300 call option for 222 rupees. That was once it corrected to this point, because the risk reward was not quite okay, because my risk my SL was at this point here, and I had planned to take my profit back at the bottom central that they say TC here. This was the bottom central pivot, or I would take my profit if I got good risk reward right at the pivot itself, the central pivot itself. So this would be my target, and this was the entry. So you can see how the price reversed from there, and around this candle, that was around 10:46 a.m. That was quite immediate after I had entered. Within about 24 minutes, it actually triggered my stop loss at 272. So I had gone in with about 50 point stop loss, and I was planning on taking a 90 to 100 point target in Bank Nifty today, but that did not happen. But as you can see, the analysis showed me that the price action was going to reverse from here, and this is where I had to go short. Price action also gave me the signal, and so I followed my system, and after that it actually kept going sideways, reversed a bit here, took my stop loss, then again went sideways, and again went up and went sideways from there. So no real rally in Bank Nifty, but the most important point is that I followed my rule. If my system tells me that I am supposed to go short, I will go short. If my system tells me I'm supposed to go long, I will go long. So it does not matter to me what else is going on in the market, what else other stocks are doing, what else Bank Nifty components are doing. It does not matter to me. What matters is what my system is telling me. I don't look at other banks. So for instance, if Kotak Mahindra is an intraday rise of 2%, I will not really look at that in Bank Nifty. In Bank Nifty, when I'm trading, I will just go short. So I don't bother with what Kotak Bank is doing, or HDFC Bank is doing, or what ICICI is doing. If my price action in Bank Nifty and Nifty are telling me that I am supposed to go short, I will go short. It is important to follow the rule. So that is what I wanted to teach you from today's price action. I wanted to show you how I too take stop losses. It cannot happen that traders keep taking profits. It just cannot happen. It is impossible. It is just important that wherever you have planned your stop loss, you have to end your trade there. Take your losses and get out of the market. There is always a tomorrow. You must understand that I rather live tomorrow to tell the story. And so it is important that whenever I have profits, I make a good profit. I make 1:2 at least, if not 1:3. So these are the two targets that I set. This is the first target, this is the second target. If I see that there is no real obstruction to price to move further, I will sit around for 1:3. Otherwise I'll book out at 1:2. But the risk reward here plus the win rate of around close to 70% is good enough to make a good deal of profits in these markets. All you have to do is have emotional control. That's it. So now what do we have in terms of levels? Let's see. Let's just turn on the indicator for tomorrow. We can see that we have an average CPR in Bank Nifty, because we have seen that Bank Nifty has not given us a very big movement today. Although we did see that Bank Nifty shot up from around the low of around 42,787 to a high of around 43,413. But still, you can see how Bank Nifty went sideways here. So we don't have a very narrow, neither a very wide CPR tomorrow. And we can see that the L3 pivot for tomorrow lies within the CPR now. This is the L3 pivot. You can see these two lines here. This is the L3 plus the BC, the bottom central, and this line is the H3. So these are the Camarilla levels. So those of you who don't know Camarilla, you can go back and watch my video on Camarilla. And this is the L4 level. This is the H4 level. So now how do we analyze price? We can see that today Bank Nifty has closed above its CPR, correct? So because this is the close in Bank Nifty on a 5-minute on an intraday time frame, we can see on an intraday time frame the close is above the intraday CPR, and so we have a CPR which is of higher value, or an ascending CPR as compared to yesterday's CPR, correct? So we have a higher value CPR today, and so we will have a bullish bias on the market tomorrow, as long as Bank Nifty opens anywhere above this particular zone tomorrow. What is the level? Around 43,100. So Bank Nifty opening above 43,100 tomorrow will have a bullish bias. Any pullback to the level of 43,100 you can fetch for a buying opportunity. And again, if any open above the H3 pivot around the level of 43,450, if there is an open here, So if the H3 pivot, if the open is above the H3 pivot, then you will look for a trading opportunity around the H3. If the open is greater than the H4, that is the above the H4, then you will look for a trading opportunity around the 43,640 level. And what if we go and check Nifty now? We don't need this supply zone, so we will delete that. We don't even need this line here. I'd mark the red line from previous price action that Nifty has broken today, and we can see that Nifty has had a wide range of motion today. So we again have a pretty wide CPR. You can see the kind of movement Nifty has been making. See here, Nifty had a massively trending day, so we had a very wide CPR yesterday. That sorry, not yesterday, that was on Friday, and again Friday Nifty fell from this point right to this point. So hence we had a wide CPR again today, and again Nifty has made a big move, so we again have a wide CPR for tomorrow. And now what for levels? You can see that Nifty has opened right within this particular zone here. This is the CPR for today, and this is the CPR for tomorrow. So we have a higher value CPR for tomorrow, and you can see here that we have confluence of pivots at this line. So this is the zone at which we have a confluence of pivots. And what pivots are they? These are the L3 plus PP, that is the central pivot. So we have a very strong zone in this zone. This is the H3 pivot, this is the H4 pivot. The L3 level is around the 18,200 mark. So any price action above the 18,200, that is the open above the 18,200, will be an open which will suggest you to buy back the markets at the 18,200 level. So you can keep an eye on that level tomorrow. That is going to be an important level. If tomorrow price action opens above today's high, then at around the H3 level is where you can find a reversal trade. So around the 18,315 line, that is where you can find a reversal trade. Now this is the H4. Any open above the H4, that is above 18,367, you can find a trade above this level. And if tomorrow Nifty opens below this particular level, that is below the CPR, then this area is going to act as a strong support for price. Okay, so you have to be very careful if Nifty opens below this particular level tomorrow. Be very careful trading that level. You can trade if the open is below the CPR, that is below the L4 especially, not just a L3. If it opens somewhere here, the L4 will act as a support. If it opens somewhere below this level, then you can trade a pullback to the L4 and you can go short. That is provided both Nifty and Bank Nifty are opening below the L3 or the L4 level. So guys, that is it for the analysis of price action as well as important levels for tomorrow. I hope you find these analysis sessions useful and simple, and so I will keep making these videos for you. Do ask me in the comment section if you have any doubts regarding today's price action. If you've liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Thanks guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.